All right, this is Scott Joseph coming to you from the J&L Marketing booth. We are live at NADA. This is booth 3266C, so make sure you stop by. We've got a special guest. We're going to have a quick discussion real quick with Michael Roppo. Michael, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. How's everything going?
It's going good.
Enjoying the show?
Beginning of the show is always a little hectic. You know, you're trying to get all your last minute stuff, but it always pumps me up.
No doubt.
It's a Super Bowl for auto dealers and vendors.
No doubt.
So it's a big event. I wanted to bring Michael on and ask him to join us on Move, Crush, Count because to me he's an expert when it comes to fixed ops, and I want to talk to you specifically about critical steps. Most people are here for opportunity.
Sure.
So let's talk about opportunities that exist in fixed ops.
Sure.
What are 3 critical steps? Let's start with critical step number 1.
Critical step number 1, you have to have your best practices and you got to understand your numbers.
Yeah.
And making those numbers part of the daily endeavors in your service department, in the shop itself, and of course at the end of the day when you cash in or cash out of your business.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of opportunity for people that pay attention to those things.
So you see a lot of stores, you see the people that do a good job with it, and you see the ones that don't, right?
Correct.
What are the consequences, besides just lost profit, what are the consequences for people that don't really have a good handle on their numbers?
A good handle on their numbers. If you don't understand the way the numbers work in the industry, and you don't understand the great game of business, you're going to have a hard time making it happen. That statement that we heard just yesterday at our roundtable with Fixed Ops and Ted Ings, labeled that there's going to be 30% less dealers in the next 10 years. That's a lot of dealers, man. That's a lot of families. That's a lot of information that basically has got to be taken to heart. And some people that do not understand how the numbers work and run those numbers from not just a benchmark standpoint, from a critical performance indicator. Now, I like CPIs because you're in control of them, right? KPIs are like benchmarks. They're already happening. CPIs is what you monitor. So whatever you monitor and you manage, you can make happen.
So what would be the second critical step?
Making sure that in the service department, the service advisors are providing a level of service that it's unmatchable in the industry. It's got to overtake what the competitors are doing. And I think service is struggling in America, and I think they need a lot of work.
Well, and I think there's a lot of different definitions when it comes to service. It's one, how you treat people.
100%.
I can tell you right now, no matter what you're doing from a consumer or customer interaction, you've got what makes it work is consistent. Let's just take this booth, let's just take the show.
Sure.
When you poll dealers, what they remember, and this goes for any industry, when you poll dealers or visitors to a booth, what do they remember most? It's never the product. Right. It's never the booth.
It's the people.
It's the people.
That's correct.
And so there you go. You bring that up on the service side because there's a lot of different ways to create a better experience. You can do it with technology. You can do it obviously with people, offers, what you do at the store, all kinds of stuff. But what they're going to remember most is how they were treated.
That's correct. And you hit a good point. And it's got to start with the 3 Ps, right? A lot of people look at the 3 Ps and they don't really put enough thought in the process that is people,
for the people who don't know
profit.
what the 3 Ps are, go ahead.
People, process, and profit. People, process, and profit. You can't do it without those 3 things. I think people in the industry need to come to the realization that that sales to service and back to sales process really needs some form of blockchain to keep it all together. And you better get serious about that process, because if you don't, you're going to be history in the industry.
And by the way, you mentioned Ted Ings and the Fixed Ops Roundtable. To me, this version here in Vegas blew away
100%.
the first 2 or 3 that he did.
100%.
That event keeps getting better. So if you're not familiar with Ted Ings and his Fixed Ops Roundtable, make sure you check that out. He's already got the rest of the year booked out. You can still get tickets, but you can go on fixedopsroundtable.com and you'll be able to see where those events are going to take place. But man, that just keeps getting better.
No doubt. And you know what? That's a great point. And that great point is basically bringing together the industry A players, putting them all in one room, creating this hot product helium that everybody's sniffing out and coming out of that information with that information to give to their clients. And I got to tell you, there's no better venue than the Fixed Ops Roundtable with Ted Aings, because he's an A player in my book, man. You know, there's a lot of puppets in the industry, as you know. However, when it gets to the rubber meets the road, Ted Aings is the real deal.
Well, and the dealers he's brought on, Brian's been there now for 2 of them, an outstanding thing, what he's doing on the fixed ops side.
No doubt.
I love it when the margins are about as low as they can go on the new car side, all right, on the sales side,
Absolutely.
front end. On the back end, that's where the future and the opportunity is going to be, I think.
I think that's a new front end, Scott.
Yeah, I agree. I like the way you say that. But here he's doing something that traditionally you would think without people involved, it would squeeze margins a little bit, but his sales have just skyrocketed through that per transaction, not just because he's increasing volume.
Sure.
His per transaction numbers are much higher. And so it just goes to show that people value convenience, doing things quicker, faster, making their life easier. That's what we're really here to do.
And you know what, that blockchain theory requires you to get all the obstacles out of the customer experience so people feel good at doing business. And one thing that you need, that third piece that I want to talk about, is making sure that you make it easy, real easy for the customers to want to do business.
I didn't even have to ask you what the third thing was.
It's okay. I fast forward the information, and I got to tell you, those are very, very valuable questions. That look, all the shiny objects in Las Vegas, and after they make their deposits, the thing that you're left with is information to take back to the dealership, right? You apply some of these concepts that we just talked about at this little roundtable today, and I got to tell you, you can make a difference tremendously as soon as you go back. A lot of the times, people know what to do. They even know when to do it. They know how to do it. They just don't do it.
Now you're getting ready to set up some events, are you not?
Yeah, I'm doing these strategic planning sessions and performance and profitability impact groups with dealerships at the dealer. I want the entire dealer management team at the dealership quarterly, at least, to talk about what they're going to do different to move that number forward.
How do people reach you?
They reach me by going to my
everyone
website.
Knows you, but how do they reach you?
They can get on my website. My number is 732-673-2507. You can go to AMRADR.com. Automotive Management Resources is the name of the company, and we focus on people, performance, and profitability. Those are the things that basically need to come to the table from every profit center to make sure that they're aligned to do business the right way with the customer every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions.
I love your direct, no bullshit.
There is no bullshit. Listen, at the end of the day, you can go to a client and they can tell you all their problems, right? And right away, you'll know if they want to do business with you, they're serious about their business by the way they write the check to you. Okay. And quite honestly, sometimes I put a position out there where the client, I say, excuse me, if you're not serious about your store, I'm not your guy. I don't write reports, I generate results. And to generate results, and what you have that's available to you, you got to do certain things that you might be uncomfortable doing. Okay? The ways of the past does not equal your future. So if you don't like where you're at, change the things you're doing, man.
Well, the fact that you just mentioned a 30% decrease over the next how many years?
Probably 10 years.
10
That's
years.
What they're saying, yeah.
So a lot of consolidation, a lot of elimination
100%.
Of stuff. And so, I think back to when I started 29 years ago, I want to say there was close to 30,000 dealers.
Yes. I think the number I remember was 28,000 at some point.
Now we're down under 17 or right at it.
Listen, you bring up a good point. In 2008, my biggest job was to go out to dealerships and say, please hang on. Please hang on. They were willing to throw the towel in. Because I said, GM's a bank, man. They're going to come back stronger than we ever were.
Correct.
However, I'm not saying I'm not a factory advocate. I'm a dealer advocate. When somebody wants a certain amount of results, I look at the process, find out if I can give it to them, and I put myself in a position to be able to provide those level of results. Because if you don't do it, you don't get paid.
Well, you bring up 08. I like what you say. Fixed ops is the new front end.
No doubt.
And that's where the profit's going to be. I have to tell you, I feel like currently fixed ops is an afterthought for most stores. When it comes to marketing,
it's still that way?
I think they understand the importance, but when you look at the ad budget, yes.
Okay, you're right.
All right, the ad budget, if all the profit is there, all right, and you can, or the margins are better there.
Yeah.
But these dealers, I think in Ted's thing yesterday, I think that they guessed a dealer was progressive if they were spending 10% of what the front end does.
Yeah, that's got to change.
Correct.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think everyone recognizes it, but those are words, and the actions haven't caught up yet.
Okay.
Where it catches up is when we hit another dip.
Or you give J&L Marketing a call,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. And hey, by the way, for you BMW dealers, we are now approved for 100% not 100% of the co-op, 50% co-op on all your digital
awesome,
marketing, including the ad spend.
Yeah.
So come see us.
I'm a former BMW guy.
Nice. So, but you know, in 08, fixed ops was front of mind then.
No doubt.
Because that's what they had to do to survive.
No doubt.
You
For
know?
me, I quite honestly
OEM
look,
and dealer.
you know, I've been told that sales sells the first car, service sells all the rest. I think that's total BS. I think excellent service, even in sales, sells all the cars.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think all those F&I products that you know you got to go to the thing called the box to go get.
Yeah.
That should be done at the service advisory desk.
Well, the biggest thing I think that there's so much opportunity, especially with digital marketing with fixed ops. And what amazes me is the majority of dealers that we talk to,
Okay.
they still do a lot of mail. And listen, that's where we started.
No doubt.
We made
I hear you, man.
We paid for this because of mail.
No doubt.
Right? And so, but digital is the #1 source of our revenue now.
Okay.
If retention is, let's talk retention real quick.
Okay.
You're here. I
love retention.
I thought this would be 10 minutes, but let's talk
Retention
retention.
of people or retention of profit?
Well, I think they go hand in hand.
No doubt.
But let's
No
talk.
doubt.
Let's talk customer retention. All right, defection and stuff like that. What is the biggest challenge you see in dealers doing a good job retaining more customers? A
Not
higher
following the
percentage?
process. That's a big problem. They know what to do. They have CRMs. They have information. They have data. But you know what? They're numb by data and numb by numbers also, and they don't make anything work. Somebody's got to take ownership of what it is that they bought, and they got to put it to work. Like for instance, I'm looking for J&L to help me put a product or a service in front of a customer that they need to be sewn into. Otherwise,
we have them.
I know, and that's why I'm sitting with you. So the thing is this: at the end of the day, you bought a system, just like a DMS, right? You buy a DMS, you pay all this money every month, and quite honestly, you're only using 18% of the system, no matter which system it is. You know, and I have people transient from areas of
it's like a Blu-ray. You hit eject, you hit play.
Exactly right, man.
It's got 100 different buttons and opportunities. But
listen, at the end of the day, you can't get a positive charge off a dead battery. So those people need to be looked at through those processes to make sure, hey, did you do your job? So if you're going to have a CRM, a marketing tool, you need to know when those marketing tools, if they're working, and if they're not working, can you pull the plug on it right away? And can you make the changes that need to be made to make sure that you could maybe save yourself in the same month?
I think if dealers understood the concept of customer match. So to me, the internet has done a couple things. There's negative and positive to everything, right, in life. So the negative on the internet is that the companies like the Jiffy, national change, independent repair shops, the Valvolines, the Jiffy Lubes, they've got tens of millions of dollars, hundreds.
No doubt.
75% of their ad budget is on digital marketing.
That's correct.
So anytime someone does oil change near me, all right, the reason dealers don't populate or show up at anywhere close to page 1 on those search ads is because they can't spend more than the Jiffy Lube. However, there is a strategy and a huge advantage dealers have, and this is what I mean by taking advantage of the opportunities. You've got customer retention issues. I could take a customer match, the DMS list, upload it, and people do that here and there on Facebook and stuff like that. But no one does this on paid search. We do that. And what it allows us to do is set up very sophisticated or advanced marketing strategies that if you're a customer and you go in and say, oil change near me, normal dealer can't afford to bid on that, it's too generic.
Right.
You're my customer, I know you're in there. You're basically raising your hand saying, listen, I'm going to defect. I'm leaving you.
No doubt.
Why else would I search this? I already know where you are. I bought my car there. I've serviced there before.
Right.
So I'm going to be very targeted in my approach to make sure my ad copy is extremely relevant.
Right.
When you come back, when you click on any of the call to actions or you make that phone call, it's all very easy, fast, easy to do.
Doubt.
You're getting the exact special that you want.
Right.
The information is all about the oil change.
Right.
But I can have an intelligent bidding strategy that outmarkets and outsmarts the Jiffy Lubes or the Valvolines of the world. And that allows the dealer to keep and retain a higher percentage and increase customer pay.
No doubt.
So,
Dave, listen, at the end of the day, you're bringing up a national chain that, quite honestly, you know what, dealers have to compete with.
That's
and
right.
quite honestly, if you go into a Jiffy Lube, you're going to find out it's not that Jiffy and it's not that cheap.
no.
So the thing is, for me, the way you use marketing, digital marketing, it has to create a message of value, number one, as you know, and then you better provide that value through this thing called premium care when they finally get to your dealership. Because if you don't execute properly, all that beautiful stuff that you put together is just not going to work.
That's right.
Okay, so I think there's great opportunity in the industry. It's a $99 billion industry. That's without warranty. That's the way I count it. Okay, at the end of the day, there's some work that needs to be done there. Absolutely.
And the dealers are only capturing what, 20-something% of it, correct?
I believe they're capturing about 20 to 30% of it. I think there's a lot more. I was told last year that there's $55 billion of underperformed maintenance and $50 billion of non-performed maintenance. Now, you could call it and do it with the MPVI, but you know what you got to do is sometimes you got to get rid of some of the technology between you and the customer and write that customer's information on a napkin if you want to. All right, man? But you better make sure that you take care of the customer in the end.
That's right.
Okay? When they leave, they have to feel that premium care. And I got to tell you, I plan to be busy on that concept because you know what? Some people just don't get it.
Well, it's easy to get caught up in all the tools and forget about what makes it all work. So
some people tell me, hey, Mike, he goes, I need you to help me. He goes, well, what do you want me to help you with? He goes, I need to make more money. He goes, where do you want the money to come from? And when they ask that question, it's like, well, what do you mean? Are you being a wise ass or something like that? He goes, no. You need to tell me where you want your money to come from, man. You want it to come from inside? You want it to come from customer pay, warranty? What are we doing?
That's right.
And, besides them not being able to answer you honestly, they're looking for the trick, the magic wand. I don't have that trick. I don't have the magic wand. You got to do the work. There's no way around it, man. There's no way around it. You got to get your marketing in place. And I know J&L is a great opportunity to start that process.
I think you got to be passionate about the process
you gotta love
and the procedure. You can't. It's one thing to be passionate about. I love what we sell. I love where I. It's another thing to be passionate about working the process and the procedure to do all the things you're talking about.
No doubt. Look, Henry Ford said it a long, long time ago. And he said that if you're a business that just focuses on profit, you don't have a good business model, man. You got to genuinely care about the customer. That's really what it's all about. So.
All right, that is coming to you live. J&L Marketing, booth 3266C, NADA. Special thank you.
Get with J&L, man.
Roppo.
Get with J&L.
Oh boy, Sandy Cerami is in the house.
Baby. What's happening? The man making the magic happen.
That's awesome, man.
All right, check us out soon.